There are two types of e-commerce businesses, and you're running one of them. There's business A, who just sold $10,000 on Amazon last month, but after calculating all their profit, they realized they only made about 500 bucks. And then on the other hand, there's business B that only sold about $5,000. They looked at business A and really felt down on themselves, but when they checked their profit, they realized they actually made $1,000 in profit. And as we all know, revenue does not pay the bills, profit does. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can be twice as profitable as another Amazon seller while you're both selling the exact same products at the same time. So what's the difference between these two businesses? It comes down to pricing those products and specifically using a repricer in the best possible way. So to show you what I mean by this, let's go ahead and dive into just a random example of a product. Doesn't really matter in this case. I just want to show you what you're looking for in the pricing data, right? When I scroll down on this listing, you're going to see the keep it chart where we can see the price history, see the sales history of a product. And in case you don't already know what this chart means, it is basically showing us the price, sales rank, all the data over the past history of the product. And where this is especially important for us as we're trying to make as much profit as possible is looking at this pattern. And this is something that's pretty common to see. You notice how the sellers are jumping around a lot, right? As I mouse along this chart, I'm seeing the names of the sellers change a lot. I'm seeing the prices change a lot. And this is a major opportunity because what I'm also noticing is some of these people have gotten really good at capturing the high end of this price point, while others are just capturing these cheaper, lower price sales. For example, this person right here, you can see when they made sales up on that top chart, they basically only made sales at the very low end of what this product is selling for, while other people are going in here and selling it at the high end of what this product is selling for. So how can we be the person that's going in here and making, in this case, the difference between selling it for $184 and selling it for $201? That's a $17 swing here in this case, and we obviously want those extra dollars in profit. And this is where using a repricing software for your Amazon business is going to come into play. And so to make sure that we are the sellers making those high priced, high profit sales, this is where we need to jump into a repricing software. You'll honestly need to get a repricing software as an Amazon seller as soon as you have maybe 5 to 10 products, or if you have a couple thousand bucks you're starting with anyway. I would honestly just recommend going ahead and grabbing a free trial of Flashpricer. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into the demo account here and kind of show you how we would set this up. So when you're using a repricing software, this is going to automatically integrate with all of the products that you sell on Amazon or on Walmart. That's why I've liked using Flashpricer recently, is I can reprice my Walmart store and my Amazon store on Flashpricer. And then as I go in here, I'm going to be able to go ahead and set the minimum and maximum price that I want my products to sell for. So in this case, again, this is an example product, but let's say it shows up right here on your dashboard. I would want to go in here and say, hey, don't sell that product for less than $190. Seems like that's the higher range where a lot of these sales are happening at $194, $200, but I absolutely don't want to make these sales at $181 unless I have a ton of inventory in stock, which usually if you're anything like my Amazon reselling business, you always want to make sure you're taking full advantage of the inventory that you are able to actually go out and purchase. So I'd want to go ahead and set that minimum at 190 bucks. I like going in and setting my maximums at like the highest price I've ever seen it sell for recently. So in this case, it's like 212 bucks. Let's just go ahead and here and set it at 230 bucks, right? Like a reasonable price that someone would want to pay. But in case I end up being the only person left on a listing or something, not going to be a big deal, and I'll be able to sell out at 230 bucks. But that's pretty fundamental when it comes to setting those prices. So I actually want to jump into several more use cases for how to set up your repricer correctly. And that's going to come when we start jumping into setting strategies. Because for that product where we just set the minimum and maximum price that we want that item to sell for, we still need to decide how we want that item to behave while it's in that price range. So let's go ahead and jump in and I'll show you how to set up one of these repricing rules. Let's just go ahead and press new strategy right here. I'm going to go ahead and select Amazon. Again, you can do this for Amazon or Walmart. And I'm going to be showing you several different ways to increase margins no matter what platform you're on. But I'm going to stick to Amazon resellers. I know that's the majority of us that are watching the video right now. Go ahead and name this Amazon test and just running through this with you guys. And this is where we want to start getting into a little bit of the nitty gritty and some of these things that will make you a lot more profitable than someone else who's not playing around with the repricer like this. So let's go ahead and decide who we want to compete with. For the most part, competing with the lowest price is generally not what you want to do. You usually want to be competing with the buy box, right? If we were competing with the lowest price on this listing, which on some of these cases would have been these people down at $187, even though sales are happening at $202, we want to be competing with that buy box, right? We don't want to be down in the mud. We want to be up at that price where Amazon is giving the highest possible prices. So let's go select that as our buy box. I like leaving this setting off. I typically don't want to ignore Amazon as a competitor. I do like this though. We can ignore things where the competition we're dealing with has long handling times. And typically if you're competing with someone who has long handling times, especially as an FBM seller, and maybe you're an FBA seller or you're an FBM seller who's getting things shipped out pretty quickly, what you'll find is when you're able to get those products to customers faster, that's where you're able to charge those much higher prices. So I don't want to compete with these people. I'm going to let Amazon's buy box do the work of giving me sales at that higher price point. So I'm going to ignore people with a longer handling time than 3 days. That's pretty long for FBM. We also want to go ahead and ignore ourselves as competition. You don't want to be like undercutting yourself basically. And then just in case you have any stores that are out there, they're the boogeyman, they're really like messing profit up on your items, or they don't have a ton of units in stock, they're selling out often, and you want to keep prices high, you can go in and exclude competition from specific Amazon stores. All you would need to do for that is just go ahead and hop in and grab their seller ID right here. That is shown up on SellerAmp there. You'd copy that and then you'd go ahead and paste that right there. And then no longer are you competing with that person. I don't use that a ton, but just in case you got that one person that's been messing with your profit, now you can get rid of them. When it comes to the main strategy that we want to use, this is another place that we can actually start increasing profit a little bit. So the typical way to set up a repricer is going to be to match the buy box. That's a pretty healthy way to balance profit and sales. Whatever you do not want to be undercutting the buy box by. A lot of people will undercut the current sale by a penny, right? I know it makes sense to beginners if you go in and you're thinking, oh, I'll just be 1 penny cheaper than my competition and I'll make all the sales. But like we just saw on this listing, sometimes 1 penny is not going to make a difference, and sometimes $15 is not going to make a difference. What I will say is, in general, if you want to undercut your competition to make more sales, do it by a significant margin. If you undercut your competition by 1 penny, the buy box algorithm, the way that Amazon's sales shuffle around, is not going to prioritize you really at all, since you're effectively the same price. Thinking about it from a percentage standpoint, you're basically the same price as your competition. So it really doesn't make sense to subtract, go minus 1 penny. I know a lot of beginners will fall into that trap. So there's another one of those bigger hacks you need to make sure you're taking advantage of. But on the flip side of that, if you want to be the person who is gradually raising prices on listings, what you can do is you can go in here and you can say, hey, for that buy box, I want my price to always be 1 penny higher than the buy box. And like we were just talking about, that's not going to affect how many sales you're making on a product. Those sales are still going to evenly rotate between you and the guy who's 1 penny cheaper than you. But obviously on those listings where someone has set their repricer to match everyone else's price, guess what? You raise by a penny, they're going to raise by a penny, right? And you can see how that race to the top rather than racing prices to the bottom can start to happen when you are very slightly raising your prices above your competition. You can also go ahead and change how the repricer behaves when you're competing with specific sellers. I'm probably going to do a deep dive into Flashpricer here pretty soon as well. So I'll show you all the nitty gritty on this tool. Really today, I just want to focus on the more important things in terms of increasing the profit. And this is also where I want to give you a little bit of the exception to the rule when you actually do need to make sure that you are the lowest price or at least close to it. And that is going to be when a listing has a suppressed buy box. You don't know what that is? Basically, that's on a listing when there's no add to cart button. For example, on this listing, it seems like the buy box was suppressed for this little bit right here. See how there's no buy box line? People were still selling this product, but Amazon suppressed the buy box. They just made it a little bit harder for customers to find that product essentially. Now, items can still sell very well when the buy box is suppressed, and usually it just indicates that Amazon has found that product way cheaper at a different website, which honestly for us probably means there's some resale potential. But in order to win sales while there is no buy box, a customer is going to go in and manually select who they're buying from, which is going to be sorted in price order. So in those cases, I would recommend going in and setting lowest price match. That way you'll show up at the top of that list, or at least very close to it, and start getting your share of the sales. And this is where we can get into another one of those profit boosters here. When you're using a good repricer like Flashpricer, and I'll show you an example of kind of how this was able to work for my business, you're able to go in and just trust the settings on here. So what I've noticed is if I go in here and I set this to when I've acquired the buy box, algorithmically optimized price, what this has done on my store is take products and just find any possible excuse to try to raise those prices. And at the end of the day, that's what you want a repricer to do, right? Is to test and try to see as much profit as you can squeeze out on a listing, algorithmically optimize your price. And then this is probably the biggest hack that I've found personally for increasing prices, and that is setting up a yo-yo on your repricing. So if you don't know what this means, I want to basically say, hey, every 360 minutes, which every 6 hours or so, what I like to do is 10%. So what this is going to do is every 6 hours, the prices of my entire Amazon store is going to raise by 10%. Now, what that's going to do is on those listings where people are matching my price, especially listings with not a ton of competition, guess what? Their repricer is going to be like, wait, they just raised 10%. Why are we so much cheaper than everybody else? Let's raise our price. And now, because you have gone in and yo-yoed that price up, it's going to start dragging other sellers up. And another reason why this is so important, you need to set this up right now, is the more Amazon sellers that are doing this, the more our profit margins can be protected. Because what this really does is provide breathing room for the inevitable price reductions that can just kind of happen when competition increases. But in this case, if you have your prices going up 10% every 6 hours, it doesn't matter if prices are decreasing in the interim there, because again, the listing is breathing. It's going up, it's not selling super fast, going down, it's selling, right? So just go ahead and go in and set up that yo-yo method, because honestly, you can skip out on sales every now and then to make sure that your margins are being boosted automatically. And then then one of those other profit boosters is setting smart minimums and maximums on the products that you want to sell. Based on what we already broke down, you'll notice I like to go in and set the minimum and maximum prices somewhat manually. Although if you do have your costs logged in Flashpricer, it can also change based on minimum ROI, minimum profit. It can also do fixed profit for that item. So if you're just selling a ton of stuff and you're not super restrictive on what you want it to sell it for, see this making total sense. But if you're buying things that you have a lot of inventory on, do the quick homework. It takes you 30 seconds to figure out where to set that minimum and max, and it can make you a lot more money if you set a smart min. So I want to go ahead and take a look at that example product so you can see how prices move on Flashpricer. But I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Flashpricer for actually being the sponsor of this video. I started using it for my Walmart business, but then I actually found out that their Amazon repricer is really good as well. So go ahead and click the link down below if you want to get a free trial of this tool and try out a powerful repricer for your business. So jumping into the account that is actually linked to my Amazon products, I want to show you an example of a product that we were testing on Flashpricer here. You can see I like being able to see how the prices change over time. And one thing you'll notice is it's basically looking for any possible excuse to raise that price over time. I'm seeing that price gradually increase over time and then test the waters going back down, making sales, trying to drag that price back up. And this is using the exact same rule that I just set up with you. And what that actually led to on this product was my store being able to make sales at an average price of $34.05. This is my store right here. Of people who had more than like 1% of the buy box, which is like an outlier, actually put me in second place for the most profitable person selling this listing of this entire list right here. If you include those 1% sellers, I'll still take it. I'm basically right in that range of the most profitable possible sellers on this listing. So obviously setting this stuff up correctly can really increase how much profit you're making, because these people down here probably paid the exact same price as me, but they're selling it for an average of $31, $32, right? And all of these things can add up, right? That extra $2 per unit can make a huge difference over time. And I'm sure those of you guys that are really dialing in with your Amazon business are starting to understand that. So I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into repricing strategy. Make sure you go ahead and grab a 2-week free trial of Flashpricer down below so you can start playing around with that, increasing those profit margins for yourself. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. Always happy to chat with you guys down below. Really appreciate you watching this video. And if you want to see how to source and sell auto ungated products to sell on Amazon, click this video right here.